Okay, here we are with your second installment of your Math 10 video. So this is section 1.3, I believe, okay, because 1.2 just talked about length and measurement, and we discussed that stuff hopefully in class. What I wanted to discuss a little bit more today was the difference between imperial versus what we call SI or metric, okay? A couple words that I'd like you maybe to understand here too. If I talk about a referent, okay, it's an idea is, do you have an idea about what is 1 inch big or 1 centimeter big or wide or long, you know? It's a good idea to have an idea, right, to what is 1 centimeter about. So if you look at the ruler here, right, this is centimeters. A pencil is about half a centimeter. So maybe this little bit on the end, just a little bit more than a centimeter, right? So a centimeter, you know, it's not that big. An inch, well, you know, an inch is quite a bit bigger. We're going to be looking at the conversion between. It's actually about 2.5 centimeters in an inch, right? So an inch, they say, is about the width of your thumb, right? So it's about the width of, there I am, about the width of my thumb would be between 3 and 4. So an idea, a referent is an idea about how big something is. Can you estimate the size of a meter, the size of a foot? Okay, those should be pretty common to you as well, or a yard being 3 feet. So that's basically what we call a referent, okay? Unit analysis is another thing, and that's essentially what we're going to be looking at today is comparing all these units, okay? So imperial versus SI. Well, SI is what we call the metric system, and it is the most intuitive, okay? This is based on powers of 10, based on powers or bases of 10, right? Powers of 10. So there are 10 millimeters equaling 1 centimeter, right? 1 centimeter equals 1 decimeter. 10 centimeters, 1 decimeter, and then 10 decimeters is equal to 1 meter. 10 meters is equal to a decameter, and it goes on and on and on and on and on to the point where you get 1,000 meters is 1 kilometer. So the ones that we're very, very familiar with are these, right? And then the fact that there's 100 centimeters in 1 meter or 1,000 millimeters in 1 meter. These are very important unit conversions for the metric system, all right? Similarly, you can have 1 milliliter. There are 1,000 milliliters in 1 liter, right? There is 1 gram, and there are 1,000 milligrams. Sorry, there's 1 milligram, and then 1,000 milligrams in 1 kilogram, right? So how does that go? Wait a sec. 1 gram, and then 1,000 grams is 1 kilogram. That's how it goes. There you go. So these are also very important units of metric measurement. And like I said, they're always in bases of 10, okay? The problem with the imperial system, right, is that you have 12 inches in a foot or 3 feet in a yard or 1760 yards in a mile. And it's even weirder with the metric system, imperial system. You've got 16 ounces in a pound, and 2 teaspoons in a tablespoon, and pints, and get 4 pints in a gallon, and gets all wonky. So the metric system is definitely the way to go, but we have to understand both. So here are a couple of conversions, okay? So they say that 1 millimeter is equal to this thing right here, dot equals with a dot on top. This is approximate, okay? Approximately. It's an equal sign, but it's pretty damn close, okay? So 1 millimeter, 4/100ths of an inch, so 0.04 of an inch. Now, 1 centimeter, if there's 10 millimeters in a centimeter, you multiply this number by 10, it's just going to be 4/10ths of an inch, right? Or 0.4 inches. Here's another conversion. 1 inch is 2.5. It's exactly 2.54 centimeters if you want to get an exact answer, okay? Here we have 1 foot is about 30 centimeters. 1 yard is about how much? Well, I don't know. Well, look, you know, hopefully, that there are 3 feet in a yard, okay? So 3 of these would be 90 centimeters. And if you understand the metric system, centimeters to meters, this could be 0.90 meters, okay? Let's look at kilometers and miles. We're dealing only with lengths here mostly, folks, okay? Now, 1 kilometer is approximately equal to 6/10 of a mile or 0.6 of a mile. In this case, 1 mile is equal to 1.6 kilometers. Those are the conversions that I would suggest you use. So write them down, make a table. These are what we're going to use. These for proportional reasoning. These are our conversion factors, right? If you look at all of these, you're going to say 1 centimeter, 0.4 inches, okay? This is equal to 1. If you want to look at this, 30 centimeters is equal to 1 foot. That's equal to 1. All of these are what we call equivalent, or I guess they're equivalencies. So, but these are the same size, they're just in different units. So they're used in converting from one unit to another. But size-wise and sort of number-wise or amount-wise, reality-wise, they're just equal to the same thing. So they're 1, okay? Now, unit conversions. This is what we're talking about. You need to use these equivalencies. For example, 12 inches is equal to 1 foot, or any of these up here, okay, if you're converting from one to the other. So I'm probably going to give you a list of conversions that I'd like you to use. These are very useful. I will give you metric ones as well. I've already given them to you on these sheets as well. Hopefully you've written them down. I've given you a bunch of imperial ones. If you need more, we will definitely give you those conversions, okay? All equivalencies are equal to 1. That's what I was just talking about, right? So 12 inches, 1 foot, that's equal to 1. 1,000 meters, 1 kilometer, that's equal to 1. Proportional reasoning. This is going through the motions to find out the actual conversion. So where might this type of information be useful to us? You know what? I'm not going to lie. You can always figure things out by Googling it, but let's look at a basic example. So if you have a truck, say, that is 3.5 meters high, okay, and your bridge tells you that it's 11 feet 9 inches. Do you fit? Do you know if you're going to fit? How are you going to know if you're going to fit, right? So knowing a basic conversion is a good way to go. So let's get the calculator out here. I'm going to look at 3.5 meters, and I'm going to want to convert this into feet and inches, okay? So feet needs to be on the top, and let's put meters on the bottom. Now, do I have feet and meters here somewhere? Feet, and well, let's look at this one. This is equal to 0.3 meters. So I've got 0.3 meters and 1 foot, right? So the math here would be 3.5 times 1, so 3.5 times 1 divided by 0.3. The meters will cancel, and you'll end up with feet. So 3.5 divided by 0.3 gives you 11.6, let's round it off, 7 feet. Okay, now how many inches is this? Well, you know that it's a piece of a foot, so it's a piece of 12 inches. So we go 0.6666667, let's do that, times 12, and it gives us 8 inches. So it's equal to 11 feet, 8 inches, which means that you should just barely fit, okay? These are the type of conversions that I'm going to be asking you to do. There might be more than one conversion at a time. For example, if I wanted you to convert 1 mile, okay, or let's do this, half a mile into how many centimeters? Okay, so you'd go 0.5 miles, and you'd have to do a conversion first. You'd have to find your first conversion. Centimeters, miles, inches, what are you going to do, right? So I can go from miles, what do I have here? Miles to kilometers. Okay, so I want to get rid of miles, so I'll put mile on the bottom, and I'll put 1.6 kilometer on top. Now, I want to get rid of kilometers. That's going to be miles. I'm going to be in kilometers now. Well, let's go to meters first. So get rid of kilometers, put meters on top. 1,000 meters, 1 kilometer. Kilometers cancel, you're in meters. You want to go to centimeters? Well, you're going to have to get rid of meters and put centimeters up here. And what's the equivalency? Well, there's 100 centimeters in 1 meter. Meters cancel, you end up with centimeters. So it's 0.5 times 1.6 times 1,000 times 100 all over 1, and you end up getting whatever that is, 0.5 times 1.6 times 1,000 times 100 equals 80,000. So it's 80,000 centimeters is half a mile. Okay, not the best conversion, but one nonetheless. Any questions, folks? We'll deal with this in class. Okay, I hope that helped.